I'm sitting down here with Szymon, a very interesting person. I came across his YouTube a few weeks ago, and I realized that people like him can actually change the world. Just tell us a little bit about your story and how you came upon, who you are today.
Welcome everybody. My name is Szymon Futyma. I'm 18 years old. I came to self-improvement when I was only 16 years old. And let me tell you, it's the most amazing thing I have ever done to my life. I started a YouTube channel. I started a podcast. I started a business and started my own networking club. And from then on, I am the idol I always wanted to be.
All right, Szymon, so you have all these incredible things and you are a very valuable person. So do you have any goals or anything that drives you right now? And how do you deal with them?
Thanks for asking, Noah, this question. It's a very hard question to answer, as I am a completely different person to most people out there on self-improvement. People always ask me what I want to do in life, and this is always my answer. Imagine the biggest dream a human could ever dream of, and now forget it because my dream's bigger. This is the only way I can explain to someone what my dreams are, because they're so massive. And obviously, these dreams of mine are impossible, but I believe I can accomplish these goals. And it's hard to talk to small-minded people about these goals, these dreams of mine. So this is the only way I can actually explain what my dreams are in life.
So what do you think some benefits of having that giant dream is?
The best benefits is that every single goal isn't impossible anymore. Because most people think that this goal you create is completely impossible, like getting 1 million subscribers in a year. That's clearly impossible for most people. But because I am that crazy to have these giant dreams of mine, that I can actually think that my dreams are gonna come true. Because making an impossible goal and actually believing into it, actually telling yourself, I will do it, will give you a better chance of it happening than not doing anything and being lazy. And I don't want to be lazy. I want to be the person who achieves its goals every single day.
How do you think someone could adapt that mindset? Because there are a lot of people that are negative and very close-minded. And how do you think that people could adapt it and turn their mindset into a growing one?
The first thing you have to do, which is the most important thing, you have to take the step of removing every single negative person from your life. If you don't do this, they will cling on to you. They won't stop telling you to drink, to smoke, to vape, to go partying. They will never stop. You have to leave these people. And I've done it in the past too. I have left people who are my best friends. But because I did it, I've got to a level of self-improvement that I have never been before, because these negative people started dragging me down all the time. Once I started taking them away from my life got so much easier, because it was only me I had to think about, only me of what I had to do next, my goals. I have to focus on my tasks ahead and how I can become the best person ever. And don't worry if there's no friends for you, if you leave all your friends, because if you go on a self-improvement journey, you will find friends that are just like you. You don't want to be friends with these drug heads and people who drink, people who smoke and vape. You want to meet people who are just like you, the same mindset, the same goals, and the same dreams of your future.
Oh yeah, that's great. It's honestly really good to find a like-minded group like that and a community.
To find the group of people you trying to find, Noah, it's really hard. And I think you do the same. It's really hard to find these kind of group of people. But the thing I noticed with self-improvement and going on YouTube and putting yourself out there online is that people tend to find you instead of you looking for them. The more you self-improve, the more you put yourself online and be the best version of yourself, people tend to find you and not you finding them. There's a really good pointer. If anyone feels lonely at the moment because they removed all those bad friends, you will find better friends. if you put yourself out there and find the same people who have the same mindset like you.
I heard that you had a community in the beginning that you started up. Is that something that's like a paid community, or were you just mentioning something else about that?
This is a community for students. It is a community which I created with my father. He is a business owner of 2 companies, and he's quite successful with both of them. And he wanted to spend more time with me. He also wanted to improve people's lives, students especially, because they're in college, they're in university. I'm not really sure how it's in America.
Yeah, but similar like that.
It's similar. They go to university, they go learn about business, and they come out of this university school and they have learned nothing to actually start a business. And people have come to me, students, they came to me and look, they tell me, don't go to college, don't go to university, because I have learned nothing about experience in life. Experience. I don't care how much knowledge you have. I don't care. You might have all the knowledge in the world, but if you have no experience, no failure, no wins under your belt, you can't actually start a business, because knowledge doesn't start a business. Experience does.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. Having real life experience really does make you learn a lot, because you can read all the books, you can watch all the YouTube videos, you can get lectured all the time, but if you don't actually put yourself in the situation and don't learn about it and like learn about the environment, then honestly it won't be to benefit for you.
You have to put yourself out there to find the people you want, and also give them improvement advice that you have learned, so that you all a community and you're all helping each other improve to be the best ever, the idol you always wanted to be.
You're both, everybody's improving themselves, they're sharpening each other, getting better. What about the people who are actually stuck in their situation and kind of feel lost and alone? How can they stay consistent in their goals and in their mission?
Well, Noah, I have to tell you a story that I have gone through, how I got unstuck in life. I was in a complete heartbroken place. I was completely in a dark rabbit hole, which I want nobody to be in, because it was so dark in there and I was so confused. The way I came out of that rabbit hole was completely destroying my mindset. And I know this is very, very bad for some people. Some people might think this is, what are you talking about, Szymon? This is impossible. No, it's not. This is a technique where you destroy your body, you destroy your mind, and you destroy everything you believe in. And that's the only way I think people can actually change, by failure, by pain, by suffering. Yes, it feels bad. Yes, it's bad to someone to suffer, but it teaches you to learn new situations, new experiences, which actually gets you unstuck in life. To be unstuck in life, you have to do the things you never wanted to do. I never wanted to go to networking events, but I had to defeat the fear of talking to new people. And the thing I failed in networking events is when I went to networking events, I spoke in Polish, my secondary language, which I don't know much of. I had no confidence. I didn't know how to speak to people. And for the first networking event, it was trash because I didn't know anything. I didn't know any Polish. I didn't know how to communicate in Polish. But then my father came to me and said, I asked him for advice. How can I improve my next networking event? And he says, why don't you use everything as your advantage? You speak English, right? Why don't you speak in English in your next networking event? Because in Poland, literally everyone knows English. And obviously I agreed to him because my father is very intelligent. And it's a thing that I improved on. I implemented into my life, went to my next networking event and succeeded. I also because I spoke to everyone in English, I was the main character in that room. And at the very end of that networking event, I did a whole presentation and I was the only person who was clapped to. It was amazing because you have to use everything to your advantage. You have to learn from your failures. And that's the only way to succeed. Suffering, pain, uncomfortable, awkwardness. That's the only way to get to success. I don't want to make videos online. Well, I do. I love to do it. But I get embarrassed of it. Obviously, everyone gets embarrassed of making videos online. But I do it because I know it's my mission. I know it's my dream. If I don't do it, I'll stay in the same place and do nothing in life. And that's where, when you want to get unstuck, you have to do the things you are uncomfortable doing. Destroy your mindset, you destroy your fears.
Yeah, that's great. I honestly love that whole perspective of doing the things that you don't want to do. Because everything that, you want to do, that you're comfortable with, is your current situation. But if you can break out of that comfort zone, break out and be uncomfortable, do the things that you don't want to do. Honestly, no one wants to go to the gym every day. But when you do that every day, you can build an incredible physique. So what do you think are some actionable steps that people can take right now to improve their lives?
The next thing I would do right now to improve my life is to start writing an ideal version of you, a story about you in the future, in 2 years' time, in 1 year time, in 6 months. Write down his exact day of what the idol would do, how would he feel, and what he accomplished within those 6 months, within those 1 year. And start writing down a step-by-step plan of what he actually did to accomplish those goals. The thing you realize is that when you make this fake idol out of nowhere, let's say you make your idol, in 10 years you earn 100 million per year. It's an impossible goal, yes. But if you're crazy enough to believe in it, you have a better chance to achieve it than a person who doesn't believe in it. So if you do these steps, you figure out the steps you have to do every single day, the steps you have to do every single week, every single month, every single year, you start to figure out how to become your idol. And the more you behave like the person like your idol is, the more you become the idol. And most people say that it's a fake person. You can't just fake to be someone. But if you don't act like the person, that idol you always wanted to be, how are you going to become it? Even if it has to be waking up at 4 a.m. or training every single day. By behaving like your idol, you become him. Now, before you start waking up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym every single day and eating healthy, because I know you have a situation like this. You start doing this every single day for the next week, and then you stop because you get exhausted. You can't do anymore because your mind is burnt up. All that energy, all that motivation is burnt up. Do it on slower steps. 1% better every single day. That's what I'll do. And this is what I got from David Goggins, the last podcast I've listened to. He talked about having a jar of sweets with all his memories of all the things he has ever done, all the achievements he has ever done. And most people don't have this. They don't have achievements. They live a normal life. They live going to school, coming back, spending time on their phone, then going with their friends, and then going to sleep. That's their life. But to make that jar, it doesn't have to be big achievements like running 100 miles like David Goggins, but doing small achievements like making your bed, doing waking up earlier, doing your work, doing your workout. These smaller achievements will motivate you to do more. Because I know you've realized once that if you don't wake up at 7 a.m. because you tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. and you don't, you feel like shit for the whole day, right? And you don't want to do that. So you need those smaller achievements to actually have the next motivation, the more motivation the next day. And this is what I would tell everyone to do. Have the smaller achievements to have the motivation for the next day. Make the steps every single day that what your idol would do every single day to become him. And once you start doing that, you start going in the self-improvement, self-development journey, you'll be the best person in the world and nobody's going to stop you. And obviously, wear suits. When you're a teen, you should be wearing suits because it's amazing. You have so much confidence. So that's one thing I would advise if you want to start. Wear suits and become your idol.